Welcome to Digital Retro. I'm Raf, and this is probably one of the most important lenses for the Fuji X mount to start this year. Now let me tell you about it. So this is the VILTROX 25 1.7 sitting on my Fuji X T30 Mark II, and I was really hyped when VILTROX contacted me and asked me if I wanted to test this lens. So I immediately said yes, because I was waiting for a small lightweight lens, the equivalent of 35mm, that would be, not as expensive as the Fujinon. That's why I didn't get the Fujinon in the first place, because it's too expensive for me, and I was waiting for a third-party company to release a small, lightweight and fast prime for the Fuji. So I've spent a few weeks with this lens, and I've made portraits and street photography, and yeah, it's basically, here are my thoughts and experience I got with this lens. Is it worth buying? Well, see for yourself. 35 is my favorite focal length, and I basically use it every time, for everything. Portraits, street, and other kind of everyday photography. It's how I like to show the world around me. It's no surprise that I'm always fond of 35mm lenses, and those which are the full-frame equivalent. I've got the VILTROX 25 1.7, and I immediately knew that we're gonna be friends. For past months I've used the 35 and 27mm lenses, but I was longing for something quite wider. As I mentioned before, I didn't get the Fujinon 23 because of the price, and I kept holding to my hope that someone will eventually release the Fuji's alternative for the X system. And here it is, VILTROX 25 1.7. The lightweight champion pretending to enter the Hall of Fame of Fujifilm's photographers. It is plastic, has no aperture ring, and doesn't quite fit the Fujifilm's design, but VILTROX is known for their modern build across all supported systems, so you can't expect them to make a vintage lens just for one system, especially for this price. The 25 1.7 looks like its previous Air brothers and reminds me of Sony's Nifty 50. It's not weather sealed and has the USB-C port for future updates. Speaking of updates, VILTROX is supporting their lenses and updating them regularly, so you can expect the improvement of this lens's performance in months ahead. I'm not sure if I got the final release or just a test unit, but I'm very pleasantly surprised because this lens performed really well for me. The AF is good, quite snappy, especially that's on the Fujifilm camera. And it's extremely sharp, even wide open, so it captures a lot of detail and has a nice contrast. The rendering in bokeh is similar to Sony's FE35 1.8, which is one of my favorite lenses. If you like this aesthetic, you'll love this lens both for pictures and videos. I wish it would focus closer, like 20 centimeters or so, because sometimes I'd like to use this lens more for macro and details. However, it is not a deal breaker for me. I put this lens on my X T30 Mark II a few weeks ago, and this lens just stays on. and I don't want to take it off. It's 2025, and I guess there's no better time to introduce this lens to the world. Especially we, the photographers, need alternatives that combine good quality and decent price. This lens definitely combines both. For just $176, you get the lightweight, fast, and quite reliable universal glass for your Fujifilm camera. I got it on my X-T30 Mark II, but if you are getting your first Fuji, like an X-M5, and you are looking for a great everyday lens, this is probably the best choice to start your journey with.